Hello. We are here with Elysian Road, episode 3. We unfortunately do not have Jared. Rest in peace, Jared. No, I'm kidding. He's not dead.
Wow.
That got dark real quick.
It
Is
really
that
did.
what we're setting the tone for this session?
No.
Okay.
Rest in peace, Fergus. Fergus just dies. No, I'm kidding. No, Fergus isn't dead.
Even still.
We can.
He has to die off screen because he's a child, and that we can't show that on
Right,
screen.
exactly. Except I literally just streamed like a whole thing yesterday that was all about like an evil ritual that was like they were gonna kill children to like power this thing.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
That's
No child actually died on stream though. So.
This guy didn't have the guts to make it a full team party kill either, or total party kill either.
Hey, I did make it a total party kill. They just also managed to like. Well,
Had
I mean,
somebody revive Pete.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Anyways.
not a total.
It was all
kill.
foreshadowed. It was all foreshadowed. Like I didn't make it a cheap like thing. We knew that she had a pact with the warlock or with the archfey. We knew that there was a priest who was like high level that was there. It was all okay, but someone did get bitten in half yesterday.
Oh,
That's all
cool.
I'll say.
As you do.
As
Alright.
you do.
As
That was
you
that number.
do.
So we are not playing Dungeons and Dragons today. We are playing Starts with That Number. A good old space game.
There we go.
The game about space.
Asteroids and androids.
Asteroids and androids. Yep.
I don't know. It's just,
Darths and droids.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So
We are not affiliated with the comic irregulars.
we are not.
Our sponsor.
I wish.
Any
That would be cool.
Yeah.
any
Anyways.
resemblance to any comics, living or dead, is purely
Living or
coincidental.
dead. Is that a shot? Is that a hot take there, Josh?
No, I
say that because I haven't actually read their comic in a while because they're going through Rogue One right now, and I wasn't really thrilled with I didn't really like the story they had for it.
yeah, I wasn't captured by their take on it either. So between that and then I got hooked on Warframe, and like
As you do.
for a while I stopped thinking about anything but Warframe. So I wasn't keeping up with my comic series. I even lost track of XKCD, and if you know anything about programmers, you know that's astounding.
Yeah.
No, I know nothing about programs, so I don't understand.
So
I'm
Evelyn.
sorry. Yes, go ahead.
So I think
When
we
do I get to roll plus
start.
7? Something.
I think we do actually start with Evelyn. So we're going into our flashback scene here. At first.
Okay.
And we get the. It's like the classic like Star Wars shot of a planet, and we see text on the bottom come up, and it says 0503 man system, the planet Swa, and it says 2 years earlier. And so we see we cut to a dark room, and we see a young man in like I don't know, we'd maybe consider him a hipster given the clothes that he's wearing, but like this is also like the year 3200, so maybe like our idea of hipster is definitely different from what this hipster looks like. So whatever the style is,
Whatever the style was, they liked it before it was cool.
yes, whatever that was, right? So it's cycled a couple times now, gone through. I think like the current like hipster style is like I don't know.
They're all wearing Greek robes, and that's hipster now.
Right. Yeah. No, it's not quite that intense. I think it might be something like like a full. It's like full body wear, right? Like one piece clothing is kind of like the style right now. And so you have like what's the thing called
Star Trek jumpsuit.
No, like the current like style right now. There's like a thing, like a one piece. Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember what it's called. Carly, help me out here. It's like
the anime One Piece.
No, it's like
Cue the exasperated eye
Jumpsuit.
rolls.
Gosh, what is it? I'm trying to remember. It's like it's literally on the tip of my tongue.
Pantsuit.
No, it's not a pantsuit. It's a
What?
jumper or something.
Jumpsuit?
No.
Wait, what are you trying to
So there's like
describe?
a one piece of clothing that like even men are starting to like wear, and it's like kind of
Romper.
weird. Romper. Thank you. That's what it was.
As soon as you said men, they're starting to.
Yes.
I was like, oh, romper.
I was thinking romper. That's what I was thinking. So this guy is wearing a romper. All right.
Okay. Hey,
Oh
Evelyn.
no.
We're gonna shoot this guy for real, okay?
All right, and he's wearing he's like wearing a romper, and he's like he's standing before this like console, and it's not like a console in like the game sense, it's a console in like the like starship sense, right? But we know he's not, this isn't a starship, this is like a dark room, and it says like, you know, game room, there's like text that comes up on the bottom, game room number 2301, and we see this guy kind of like looking at this like holographic projection that's in front of this, like that kind of like comes up in front of this console, and we see like a map of the sector actually. So we see this map, you know, the map that we have here, and he starts like moving the holographic projection around. We see that there's like some units like on the map, like different like bases, and like we see like little like what's it, like tooltips come up for like what each of these units is and like what its stats are and stuff as this guy's like moving them around. What?
I don't know the map. I'm still on the star chart.
Yeah, that's what I was. It's supposed to be.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know if.
Yeah. So that's right. We're seeing the star chart of the sector, right? And he's like moving these like star fleets around, like these fake star fleets around on this map. And I think we slowly like the music is kind of like tense, and we slowly kind of the soundtrack comes up on commentators in the background. It's basically saying like, yes, Ramirez is well on his way to winning this qualifier to move on to the final round of this in the RTS tournament. And like, you know, this quiet commentators like doing it. It's definitely not like a sports commentation commentating like in football or anything like that. It's very, very like quiet.
So
and
golf.
Yeah, it's like golf, right? It's like golf commentating. It's like super quiet and like really close up to the microphone, and then and everyone is like silent. We see like shots of like the audience, right? And we see like a bunch of people in like like, you know, more like hipster wear, and like a couple people in like formal suits. And some of them are like, we see like a couple people like with glasses, and like they're kind of like adjusting their spectacles and like writing something on like a data pad, and like you know, and we hear something like and Ramirez is being scouted for, you know, this team, so on and so forth, and we hear stuff like that, right? And then we pan over to the other side of the room, and we see Evelyn on the other side of this like console face off.
He winks at the camera. No, it's obviously not.
Yeah. So what does Evelyn look like when we kind of pan around and see her 2 years ago? What's different about her?
Shorter hair, held back, and not necessarily a ponytail because it's not long enough yet.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you know where those things that like goes over, like a little
Headband.
Headband?
yeah, there you go. Caleb and I know style. Right?
Yeah, we're very up and up on like, you know, clothing and fashion and all of those things, definitely.
Hey, I know what underwear and socks are. That's all that matters to me. Anyway,
I do
So,
hope that's not all you wear, but that's okay.
does it look like that's all I'm wearing, David? Anyway.
Anyway.
Sorry. So yeah, and Evelyn's probably wearing like the most casual clothes you could possibly imagine. Casual.
So
very,
is she wearing a
plain.
romper too?
No, I mean no. She's probably very, very plain. I meant not casual, like
Right.
like very plain looking.
Right,
clothes.
like utilitarian, like just like simple
Yep.
pants and shirt.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So we see her moving these pieces around on this like board, and it's like very, very quick, right? Like it's his real time strategy, and so like she's like going like really, really quickly, moving like units around, and like you can see on the map like units being destroyed and like starfleets destroying each other, and it's like this very, very fast paced like strategy game in the like a fake version of the sector. And then we see we cut back to the guy on the other, Ramirez on the other side, and we see a bead of sweat like trickle down his forehead, and we hear the commentator say, "Oh, it looks like Ramirez just lost his capital fleet. That will cost him dearly in the rest of this round." And then we see
Evelyn is extremely like focused
Yeah.
and showing no emotion whatsoever.
Mhm. Yeah, sure. And Ramirez, like, he's like frantically like moving these things around, like trying to like fix his mistake. And then we see, we hear like a mini explosion, right? Like, and we just see game over come up on the screen.
And Evelyn looks extremely disappointed.
Yeah, and Ramirez like curses under his breath, and he just like takes off his like headset and just like throws it to the ground. He's like, no. And we see a couple of like the scouters in the audience like kind of like cross off something from their like data pad, shake their head sadly.
Evelyn has the same reaction except much more reserved.
Yeah. And then we hear the commentator say, and that is it. Evelyn Leidner moves on to the next round. I'm not exactly surprised by this turn of events, but Leidner is quickly moving up in the field, and it doesn't look like it will be long until she'll be playing with the biggest names in the industry. So I think the last thing we get is just a shot on Evelyn as she is standing there. What does she look like?
She's looking angry at herself.
Interesting. Yeah, and I think Ramirez comes over as the shot closes, and he does like good game kind of a thing and like hold a hand out, but he seems like stressed and like, oh man, like
she doesn't even look at him. She doesn't even notice that she's there.
Yeah, and then Ramirez just kind of like slowly takes his hand back and then like looks around awkwardly and just like walks away, and then we zoom in on Evelyn's face as she's like looking in consternation, like no, like I didn't do that right, and then slowly the background of the shot changes and we're on the ship. We're on the Void's Grace.
She's looking very intently at her closet.
Okay.
And she looks back and forth between the different things that are in her closet. And she's like, this color? And this color.
Is everything straight and
And
square?
it looks at the closet and there's like 3 uniforms in there.
Right.
Like 3 different outfits.
Yeah.
It's like a dark blue and then a slightly lighter blue and then a slightly lighter.
Oh, no slightly lighter blue. It's blue, gray, and black.
Oh, okay. So a black, a slightly bluer black, and a slightly lighter bluer black. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think Dylan, we hear the door hiss open, and then Dylan walks into the room because this is the room that you two share on the Void's Grace. What do you say? What do you what's Dylan coming in here for?
She's gonna go and grab a small notebook from a table next to her bed and a pencil.
Mm-hmm.
And not say anything to Evelyn.
Yeah.
Dylan,
Yes.
do I look pretty to you?
Dylan just kind of like squints her eyes because she's like, that's a weird question. But she says, yeah.
Do any of the boys like me? No, she doesn't say like. She says love. Do any of the boys love me?
Dylan looks even more confused and just because she's like, mid-step, like getting out of the room.
Yeah, just like, oh man, almost out.
And then she just kind of, she takes a second and then just says, how would I know? I mean, I'm not the psychic.
Oh no.
She seems to mull that over.
Fair.
Dang.
Oh no.
And then she goes into a trance and looks in the future.
Oh no.
So what? So you're gonna use Oracle?
I mean, do I have to? Do I have to actually spend points here?
If you want an actual answer.
I mean, I as a player don't. But this is definitely what Evelyn would do.
Uh-huh.
All right, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Fine,
So you
that's
commit
fine.
effort for the day.
I do.
And you ask me one question, and then I will give you a vision about it.
Do
So
the
what's your
boys
question?
love me?
Do the boys love me? Literally what? So I'm just trying to think of how like a premonition of the future would necessarily help that. would give you the answer to that question. So is Evelyn planning on like asking one of them or something?
Sure, she can do that.
Has that even crossed her mind?
Right, because you can only see something like a possible future, right?
So she says, "I'm going to ask one of them, or all of them," and then looks into.
So what do you mean by all?
All of the males on this ship.
All of the males on the ship.
All three of them.
I mean, no. There's a couple. Remember the Castro Pharmaceutical Service members are still on here.
I
Isaac
forgot.
Grigorovich is still
Oh,
on here.
did we were still on that?
Yeah, we're still up. You're
Still
in
on that
transit.
trip, okay.
Yeah, you're in transit to Newcastle. So you asked that question. I mean, I guess Ode answer that question, like for you at least, and then Till, you answer the question for you, and then I'll answer it for the rest of the people.
I mean, no. I think it's probably the safe bet.
Yeah.
The clear answer for Till is no.
Yeah. Just making sure.
She's young. She's weird.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to
Smart,
prison.
Till has
That's not
trauma
even
from losing his wife.
Till's like not on Till's radar, dude.
Yeah. Even though he has
None
a
of
goal
that's
on his
on
character
Till's
sheet
radar.
that's get Till a date,
I mean,
but not with his 16-year-old girl.
yeah.
And of all the 16-year-old girls, not this one.
Yeah.
None of them.
Yeah. Hey man, it's space. There's no laws. Anyway, just forget I just said that. All right, continue.
Yeah, we'll give you the benefit of that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think the answer is no one on the ship has any romantic feelings towards you, and so you basically see yourself asking all of the males, and they all just like look at you strangely.
Dylan.
So I
No
mean, you
male
went into a
has-
trance. I'm assuming, Dylan, that you walked out.
Yeah.
But no,
She's
it
just
happened in
talking
a
to
split
you,
second,
too.
remember?
Oh yeah, this does happen in a moment. So
That's true.
Oh.
yeah, so technically, yeah, you're still here. I forgot.
So Dylan can take another step through the door.
Yeah, Dylan starts to take
Yeah.
another step through the door.
Dylan, none of the males are attracted to me.
Dylan just kind of, remembering that she is psychic, like she pointed out. She like, she just kind of, gets even more confused and is just like, okay, and she's just kind of like, okay, well, the males on the ship aren't the only males in existence. You realize that, right?
When are we going to anchor next?
In several hours, like maybe like 24 hours of travel time.
Perfect. No, so then Evelyn's just kind of like, okay. Thank you, Dylan.
Dylan just
She
walks
walks
out.
out.
Yep.
Okay, she takes another step, and then she says, Dylan.
She turns back around. Yes.
Yes, the door was hissing closed, and you just like
Yeah.
put your hand in and like make it stop. Sorry, what'd you ask?
Have you ever
Evelyn?
kissed a man?
Well, all right.
No.
Why not? You're pretty.
She gets, the twisted, confused face on her look again, and says, "Well, thanks."
I've been watching these movies.
The Notebook 27 and
Which remake of Twilight, the 14th or the 17th?
those are the only two good ones.
Anyway, Dylan, I've been watching these movies, and they all have a girl And these guys, they're attracted to her. They love her. And I can't help but having a want for this to happen to me. Is this normal?
Dylan just kind of softly nods and
We're talking about puberty. This is uncomfortable to me.
Yeah, she just nods and kind of says, I get what you're saying, though I've never really been obsessed to the point where I've seen other girls become. Obsessed. That's what my sentence was phrased weird.
Oh.
Yeah, phrase that again, because I'm trying to think of what you meant by that.
Yeah, I was trying to say, she says, I've never been as obsessed as I have seen other girls be over that want.
Yeah.
As in the movies? As in the movies? Like, normal people aren't like that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but I think she's saying more of other girls that she's known.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Which honestly probably haven't been many.
We flash back to Dylan at the country fair on her home planet. And, you know, like going to the fair with her girlfriend, and they all like split off and like tried to hang out with guys, go on the Ferris wheel, you know, with these guys, and then Dylan just wanted to go play video games.
Caleb.
What?
Would be a space elevator, not a Ferris wheel.
Right.
Come on.
Obviously. I mean, to be honest, it's a TL2 world, so.
Yeah.
But okay, so then
It's
she
like
just kind of
a
like,
boat.
Good point.
Yeah. Probably not even a Ferris wheel.
Probably a Ferris wheel.
I've
So-
heard
Surprised what you can build a Ferris wheel out of. If you want the people to stay upright, it's a little harder.
so tell me, Dylan, what should I change? And she kind of sits down on her bed.
Look back at your closet.
So Dylan recognizes that this
Asset
is
that I can. Sorry, go ahead.
Dylan recognizes it's going to take a little longer than she thought, so she goes and sits down on her bed.
Right.
And she says, you shouldn't have to change anything about you, Evelyn. If you meet someone, they should like you for who you are.
But they don't. And I feel like having a man love me in this way will be a very great asset.
So now Dylan, kind of promptly stands up and she's like, all right, this is going to be the end of this conversation. And she just says, having someone as a partner shouldn't be an asset. It should be more than that, Evelyn. And then she just frustratedly walks out.
Okay.
And Evelyn just kind of sits there like, what's better than an asset?
So the door hisses behind you, Dylan, and you walk out and you run smack dab into Isaac Grigorovich. It's one of those like movie like run into a person things, right? And so he's standing there and he has like some like a plate of waffles in his hand, and he basically just like spills them all over you. What do? He's like, oh gosh, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to. And like he's like picking up those waffles off the floor. Because this is the kitchen, like right outside your door.
Yeah. So she leans down to help him pick up the last waffle and put it back on a plate, and then what time of the day is it?
I mean that has no meaning in space.
Okay,
but-
that's true.
They probably run cycles.
Yeah,
Day
exactly.
cycle, night cycle.
Exactly. Yeah, it's probably like midway through a day cycle, right?
Okay. So she kind of, yeah, she helps him pick up the waffles, and just kind of says, "Waffles for lunch."
Sorry, those are space waffles.
Yeah. So
Yeah, right. Come on.
Blue.
so he kind of looks at you
Yeah,
and kind of like smirks, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know. Fergus made him, so I figured I'd I'd humor the little guy." And so I just like to point out that Isaac is conventionally attractive. He is like an attractive, handsome-looking guy. I don't know if Dylan necessarily like would be attracted to him because that's totally up to your character.
Except that he's a pansy, and that kind of kills
He
it.
is, yes, he totally is a pansy, but he seems like nice and good-looking. So, yeah,
You
just,
know what I'm
just
thinking
pointing
right
that
now?
out. And maybe the main reason I bring it up is because you literally just had that conversation with Evelyn,
Yeah.
right? And you're just like looking at this guy, and he's like kind of like smiling at you, and he just has like this plate of waffles in his hand.
How old is he?
He's like 20.
I can see that.
Hence
Yeah,
the
so
hence he's a
Dylan-
pansy.
After he said that Fergus made them, Dylan looked at him with kind of a worried look and said, "You didn't eat any of them, did you?"
And he looks down and he says, "Well, not yet."
And she just kind of takes the plate from him and puts it on the counter and says, "Don't. Spare yourself."
Yeah, so he looks, he's like, "Wait, what? Is he that bad at making waffles?"
She just says, "He may be psychic and extremely wise, but he has no idea how to make anything in the kitchen."
A really horrible hacking cough sounds from the bridge, followed by a string of Greek that can roughly translate to, "Is this cooking or garbage? I'm not sure which."
Yeah, so we see the subtitles come up on the screen, and
Plus a
Dylan,
little
obviously
bit
you
of-
understand that.
Plus a little bit of additional
embellishment.
embellishment
Yeah.
to the phrase.
Yep. Yeah, so Isaac kind of like looks over and he's just like, "What's up with him?"
He ate the waffles.
Yeah, she basically says, "He's just proving my point."
Oh, okay. Well, I am still kind of hungry, so what else do you guys have? And he like
What
goes
do
over
we
to like
have?
the refrigerator or whatever this is, right, and just like pulls it open and like looks at, or no, he opens up a console and like scans through like the menu, right? I mean, yeah, I assume that you have. I mean, this is like the year 3200, so like he could like make a whole bunch of stuff, ingredients for
It's
lots of
probably
different
nutrient
things.
paste.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of nutrient paste, but there's also some like embellishment, I think, as well. You can make like waffles.
Strawberry flavored nutrient paste.
So nutrient paste with flavor serum.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Waffle shaped nutrient paste.
we see him like scan through this, right? And most of it's like pretty bland stuff. He kind of like looks over at you, Dylan. I don't know what you're doing at this point, but
She's probably making herself a cup of iced coffee.
yeah. So yeah, you.
Coffee flavored nutrient paste.
I mean, I
No.
think knowing this is a
I
shit
get
full of teenagers, I feel like you guys would have stocked up on like actual food.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all Monster.
Yeah, right. There's an entire like mini fridge full of energy drinks for Ode.
Except that it's the future, so it's called Mutant, not Monster.
Right. Yeah. Obviously.
Don't diss the coffee flavored the coffee flavored nutrient paste.
Yeah.
It
So
is.
we see him scan through this, like a lot of this stuff, and he's just like, he looks over at you making the iced coffee. He's like, "Well, what on here is good. Like most of this stuff just looks like nutrient pastes of various flavors."
So I know nothing about actual Greek food, but she definitely recommends some kind of like Greek dish that's like her favorite thing ever. And
Let's look up Greek dishes.
yeah,
Euros are kind of you're muted, Connor.
There's a specific salad that Stacy made at work the other day.
It's called the
I
Greek
don't remember what it was called. No, obviously, come on. It's a specific Greek salad.
So
you
let's see.
made it.
You have Souvlaki, you have baklava, gyros.
Baklava.
Oh, I know.
That's what
that
it is. Baklava.
Baklava
Yep.
is a pastry.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not a
baklava's
salad.
it's pastry. It's a
Wait,
sweet
what?
dessert pastry filled with chopped nuts
Okay, I'm
and
gonna-
sweetened with syrup or honey.
Oh, she made a baklava salad then.
Really? Interesting.
Yep.
Pita is Greek.
That's like you like eat pita with stuff the way we would eat like bread or rolls.
Yeah.
The gyro was made on pita bread.
Yes.
Mhm.
Spanakopita, pasticcio. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. I think maybe he looks at this stuff. I think you can tell from his accent and from like the way he looks, he's not from this system. He's from a different system. And so yeah, he looks at this. He's like, Souvlaki? What is that? And so just for your reference, Souvlaki is like shish kebab.
I was like,
kind
I
of
don't
stuff.
know.
Ooh.
It's small pieces of meat and sometimes vegetables grilled on a skewer, but it's like in a specific fashion.
Okay. So yeah, she explains that to him and just kind of says it's one of my favorites from my childhood.
Oh, interesting. Where'd you grow up? And he like presses the Souvlakia button and like it starts like making like putting out the ingredients so you can make it. And he's like starts like reading the instructions and start trying to make it.
Yeah, she says Zanless.
Oh, really? Isn't that like real low tech? And he's like saying this as he like is making the food.
She nods and kind of slightly rolls her eyes because she's like, yeah, we're known for that, but we're not just savages that live off the land.
Yeah, so he looks at you, he's like, oh no, I didn't mean it as like an insult or anything like that. I don't know, you seem pretty comfortable around all this stuff. How long have you been off world?
Gosh, I need to reference something I wrote because I don't remember. I'm just gonna guess and say, she says, I left Sandless when I was about 15.
Mm-hmm. It's about 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he nods. He's like, huh, cool. So what did you do before you were a space adventurer? It's like skewering the meat on this like stick.
She kind of twiddles with the pencil in her hand, like flipping it with her fingers, and just kind of says, "Pro gamer."
He raises an eyebrow. He's like, "You were a pro gamer?" So like on like
She
SWAT and
nods and
stuff.
looks at him. Is that
Yeah, that's
I
like
don't
the hub world, yeah, for the game.
okay?
Yeah, so you
then
were.
yeah.
Yeah, so he kind of like nods. He's like, "Wow, that's cool," and like continues. He like puts it on like a grill or something, like some space grill. Like starts like grilling this shish kebab.
On that note, were we all familiar with each other when we
Yeah, I think you were
started?
professionally familiar with each other before you started.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's check.
you were all
I
like,
don't think Evan was.
yeah, maybe Evelyn wasn't, but like the rest of you at least were like.
Were you
familiar? enough.
was Evelyn professional, or was she
Yeah,
just
she was
getting?
professional. Yep.
Okay, I didn't know how recent that flashback was. Okay,
It was 2 years ago. So
so you're saying you weren't familiar with us, but we might be familiar with you. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Connor? Okay.
Yep. Just shows how arrogant my character is.
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
she's very introspective and focused on her own like progress. Yeah. Yeah. So he just continues like making the shish kebab. And yeah, and I think at one point in like the small talk you guys are doing, he asks, so trying to think of how you phrase this. So I'm thinking of getting out of the pharmaceutical service business. He just like
She
leaves
just
the
kind of
hoodie.
watches him. Yeah, she kind of is just watching him cook, making sure he's doing everything right.
Yeah. Like lean over, you're like, nope, like that. It goes there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you like correcting him like a
like a golf coach?
Yeah.
Holding his hand like.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and so he says,
Because he's Evelyn.
yeah, he says, oh, thanks,
Gosh.
and then says,
Oh, I like this.
That was a joke, guys. Don't worry.
wait, what did he say?
I said good because he's Evelyn's.
So he says, yeah, I mean, after that run-in with the pirates, I don't know if it's maybe the safest, job to be in right now. How do you do it? How do you, like, risk your life like that?
She kind of she's silent for a second, and then it's just like, well, that was kind of my first time doing that.
Really? He stops and looks at you? Because it didn't seem like it. You were, like, super, like, in control and, like, awesome and stuff.
She kind of nervously just says, thanks, I guess.
Yeah, no problem. Do you want some of this? And he kind of, like, holds up a shish kebab.
She takes it very quickly and says, yeah, thanks.
Shish kebab?
Shish kebab? Souvlakia? Yeah, so he just kind of, like, nods to himself. Kind of like, nods. And then, just, like, takes a bite. Wow. Whew, this is good. Holy crap. And this is what you ate, like, all the time?
Yes?
Maybe I should...
As a professional gamer, I was really rolling in the dough. So it'll go right back.
Yeah, he says, and I think this is probably, like, where the scene ends, he says, maybe I should visit Zanla sometime. And then, like, takes another bite.
He's already interested in your homeworld.
He
What
wants
a
to know
John
your
kind of
parents.
guy.
So where do we find Ode? What's Ode up to on the ship right now?
I am in the
Is
computer
Ode
room.
up to? What is Ode up to?
He's playing his game as best as he can with a hole in his chest.
Right.
So he's in the computer room with his like scaled down version of his equipment in the that he used to have in his room.
Mm-hmm.
Because I assume the ship doesn't have insane amounts of computing power to waste on
No, probably not.
professional gear.
Nope.
Yeah, so he's just in his, he has like a omnidirectional treadmill that he used to have at his home that he has set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's holding his not his other fake gun that doesn't shoot electricity.
Fake.
Yeah, he's just kind of running around and playing a match at the moment, and he's trying to, like, you can tell he's favoring his, he's moving kind of sluggishly and stuff because he doesn't want to aggravate the wound, but he's sick of sitting around.
Yeah, sure. So are you playing online, like with other players in system, or are you playing like single
if
player?
there are any in system, which I don't know what planets.
Yeah, let's roll the die of fate. So
what tech levels are there in the area at the moment?
there's some TL4 planets.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, it's Zanless with TL2, and it's Midas is TL4, and then New Kazan, which is TL4 plus.
Oh, that's the system we're in.
Yep.
Okay, for some reason I thought we were out somewhere else.
Nope. No, you're in the system.
Okay, that makes more sense.
So on a 1 to 3, there are not people to play with. On a 4 to 6, there are.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think you're actually kind of surprised, Ode. On
Buddy.
like the people who are playing, because like ever since the gaming circuit went down, like interest in this hobby has like completely tanked.
Right.
And so you definitely are a little surprised to see, and so it's like a bunch of like Greek people from Greek like teenagers from Midas, right?
So mostly the sweaty neckbeard variety, or
there's a couple of those, and there's a couple of like 10-year-olds, right, who like have really high pitched
gosh.
voices and are like, right, those kind of gamers.
The
And then,
Counter-Strike squeakers,
yes,
as they
exactly.
call them.
Yep, absolutely.
Terrible term, but
But yeah, so we hear this in your head. Are you listening to music as you play?
No, he listens to the audio in the game,
Okay.
so he has like his headphones on. But
Yeah.
well, actually, I think the headpiece that he has on has a they have them now, but they're just pieces that vibrate the bone in your head and make you tell you what sound you're listening to,
Right.
basically. It's
bone conduction.
Yeah, that. So it has that technology, so it's just on his headset
Sure. Yeah.
or his visor.
Yeah, so we see you like finish a round, right? And how about you roll a shoot to see how well you do
Okay,
in this game?
probably gonna bomb. All right, let's see. This game again. Shoot,
been a while.
there it is. Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's really good. Yeah. So you're no problem. You're just you're going at it.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
realizing now that I don't think we leveled up anybody.
I did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because y'all leveled up.
I love.
I know you did, David. There's no question that you did that. Well, yeah, we can discuss that.
Yeah.
Probably on
So I
break,
think
but-
as sort of an expression of it, because I increased his shoot skill too.
Mm.
So I think he, like we see, him take off the visor, and the camera has the angle on it where you can see the visor and it says you win or whatever, and it has a bunch of different individual scores. Like it was a free for all match, and there's like his says 20 and everyone else is like 4 and 2 and 3 and
Yeah.
1 and 1 and 1 and 0. And he sighs and just kind of drops his gun off to the side.
Yeah, these
then,
are all noobs. Like there's no one
yeah.
here that's like. And so
He's
what
very
what kind
unsatisfied.
of match was this? It was like just
It was just like a free for all.
free for
So
all. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
So
yeah, so
you're the grand master that queues into a
Yep.
gold
I was
level FFA game. and
surfing because I
stomps
had no
everybody.
choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smurfing
Exactly,
because
right?
Your queue was 6 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he sighs and just kind of tosses the gun over to the side of the treadmill and
Mm-hmm.
gingerly steps out of it.
Mm-hmm. I think you're definitely sweating a bit from the
Yeah,
exertion.
I also leveled up my exert, so yeah, he's probably
Yeah.
he's probably been. I don't know how long have we been traveling in?
Only maybe about 8 hours or so.
Okay. Yeah, then this is probably mostly what he's been doing, other than like the initial hour or two of bed rest he probably had.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think he's getting kind of sweaty, and I think he wants to just go like probably eat something.
Yeah, sure.
Also, I haven't had a rest yet, have I?
You can if you want to.
Because you get your level of hit points back every time you rest a day. So like
Yeah.
for full answers. Okay.
Yeah, we can say that you've done that.
Sweet. All right, yeah, so I think I'm just gonna go back to the kitchen thing.
Yeah, so you walk in as I think Dylan and Isaac are like sitting at like the table, right? Like eating Souvlakia, and like chatting.
Oh, I thought he walked out.
No, he didn't walk out. Yeah, he was just
Oh, okay.
chilling. Yeah, that was just the end of the scene. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he sees them talking and sort of just minds his own business and doesn't interrupt, and,
Mhm.
and steps over to the paste distributor and gets himself some chocolate flavored nutrient paste.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is you're drinking Soylent,
Pretty much, yeah.
as all gamers do.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. So yeah, Dylan, do you say anything to Ode as he walks in?
And then I think there's like he's playing with some sort of like there's a cylindrical object in his like lower pocket or whatever, and he's just kind of like keeps absentmindedly patting it, like checking to see if it's still there.
Sure.
How many of the shish kebab things were made?
I think maybe I don't know, like 8.
Okay. So she kind of grabs one and holds it out into the air towards Ode and says, "You want one?"
Yeah, so I think he looks up, and I forgot to mention, I think he's wearing sweatpants, and then he's got a bandage around his chest, and that's so he doesn't have his shirt on or whatever, because it would aggravate the healing process. So he looks over
So
and
a
he says,
bare-chested Ode walks into the room.
yeah, mostly he has a bandage, and yeah,
that
I
makes
think
it okay,
he looks, oh yeah, he
You're
looks
not
at
showing off the big fresh chest wound.
no, and yeah, he looks at the Soylent and kind of like shrugs and sets it down, and then steps over and takes the kebab. Yeah, and he just says, yeah, thanks. Sits down next to you, and then I think he kind of shoots Isaac the look, because he doesn't like Isaac very much.
Yeah, and so literally Isaac shoots you the same look, right? Like, I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
And I think you both notice the other's look. You guys just kind of glare at each other. Dylan, would you roll a notice roll for me to see if you notice this?
Yeah.
Difficulty 8.
Really?
Really?
Guys aren't all that soft.
That's true.
Yeah,
Okay,
I was gonna
difficulty
say.
6. Yeah, let's just do difficulty 6. That's like the
Yeah.
standard, like for.
Right.
What attribute?
Notice with
Probably.
Wisdom.
wisdom. Yeah.
She's reading people, right?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
There you go. Yep. Yeah. So you notice that
Not really an
they
int
look at
check.
each other, and you understand what it means. Like neither of them like each other very much.
Now, okay, I was knocked unconscious before the end of all of this stuff. So, how much do I know about what went down? Do I know that a person got shoved out the airlock? Do like a good?
I assume that you. Yeah, I assume that
Okay.
you were filled in. Yeah.
All right, and have I seen him since that happened?
Isaac.
Yeah.
I don't think so. No.
Okay, yeah. So I think he says, "Glad to see you lived," and he takes a bite out of the.
Yeah, Isaac looks at you and he's like, and what's that supposed to mean?
Okay, so do I know that he was just hanging back in that room, like not doing anything? Or do
I don't know if you do necessarily.
Okay. So I don't think
I'm not sure. I don't know if like that would have come up, right?
Right.
I don't know if anyone else would have said anything.
I don't think I saw him.
Yeah, I don't think
because
he
he was
did either. Yeah.
which I guess that could be enough to assume. Like I didn't see him.
Yeah. I mean, you could just bring it up. Yeah. I don't know if you don't know for sure. I don't think.
Okay. Yeah, he just shrugged and says there were a lot of pirates.
Yeah. And like, yeah, that's pretty disarming. And so he just like shrugs. He's like, yeah, I guess. And then goes back to eating.
Yeah.
And yeah, Dylan, the tension in the room is very awkward.
She just keeps eating her kebab.
Everything is fine. Yeah, I think if no one else says anything, O just kind of sits until he finishes his.
So, can I assume that with a bunch of teenagers coming on board, Till would have had state-of-the-art drama sensors installed aboard the Void's Grace?
So what do those do?
Detect drama, of
Right.
course.
Yeah. I mean, you can
Increase
obviously like
testosterone.
have audio and video to any room in the ship, right, Till? So like you can just like turn
That's
this
not
up.
creepy at all.
I mean,
That
it's
sounds
just
super illegal.
yeah.
No, I'm joking.
I think there's probably like manual overrides like in the rooms themselves. That like
In
like the bedrooms and
the
bathrooms
bed
and stuff.
the
right?
bed quarters, yes, not
Yeah.
the the living quarters, yes, but
Yeah.
like cargo hold and stuff, no.
Yeah, no, of course not. Yeah.
Cause security reasons.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Uh,
we. Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
I think because I think he got knocked out before the fight was over, so
Yeah.
I think he looks at Dylan and says, "Are you doing okay? It doesn't look like you got hurt."
She shrugs and says, "No, not hurt."
Yeah, and he just nods. He's like, "All right, good." Like, yeah, I know there's more there to that, but I guess. And yeah, I think he just sort of shoots Isaac another glance, like, I guess I'm not gonna say anymore, and then goes back to eating, and then yeah, we can probably.
Yeah, and so Isaac doesn't leave, and I'm assuming you don't leave, like for a while.
I mean, once I finish eating, I will. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think Dylan, you noticed that like Isaac seems to like be relieved when Ode like leaves the room. But you know, we kind of fade on that scene, unless you want to like confront him on this, which is something you totally do.
Nah.
Yeah. So I think we cut to oh yep. Well, I was gonna say we cut to Josh, but never mind. Evelyn, what are you up to?
We're all hanging out right outside your room. So.
Yeah.
I feel like she might just remain there. You know what I mean? Like I feel like so okay, tell me exactly again what is happening out there. I was not paying attention.
We were just having really awkward, tense conversation.
Teenager conversation.
Okay, yeah, she probably is just like researching stuff. Like researching like body language and stuff like that. About like how people act in certain situations.
You just have how to seduce men in like an article up on your screen.
Yeah, if you looked at the browser history, you'd be a little disturbed.
Good, great. That's good to know. That's probably what we saw from Till. He was like little like notifications, and he's looking at your browser history and he's like, what?
Yeah. So, Caleb, this is going to be the point where I leave.
Okay.
Oh, you have to go?
All right. Yep. So, I love you guys, and Caleb, you know how to play my character. So
Yep.
Okay. I am in.
Bye.
Well, I totally should have thought about overlays. So let's go ahead and take our first break here, and then I'll figure that out. So we'll be right back with more Elysian Road right after this.
See you guys.
Oh, Connor, hold on a second.